This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and today we're going to look at, well, yet another Samsung Galaxy S5 variant. This is the Samsung Galaxy S5 Sport, available on Sprint. And no, it's not the active, and it's not the regular Galaxy S5, though it's pretty darn close, and we're going to look at it now. So here we have a happy family, or Sprint would probably rather us say framily, thanks Sprint, set of Galaxy S5 variants right here. In the middle, the original Samsung Galaxy S5, still a nice, fine, and trim phone. That's what it looks like on the back. Not too long ago, we reviewed the Galaxy S5 Active on AT&T, a kind of macho, rugged-looking phone. No, especially this one, well, it's got that camo look, right? Although it's available in some colors. Reinforced end caps, fake rivets, all that stuff that's supposed to make you feel like it's pretty sturdy. And these are very hard plastic end caps, so, well, it is pretty, strong. And then we have this latest variant. This is the Samsung Galaxy S5 Sport on Sprint. It's somewhere in between the regular Galaxy S5 and the Galaxy S5 Active in terms of ruggedness. Now, even the Active wasn't super duper rugged. It wasn't mil-spec kind of phone by any means in terms of you can roll it under your Hummer and go, ha ha, no problem. Not that kind of phone. But it, it's pretty reinforced and pretty strong and all that sort of thing. So this one here is kind of, relatively speaking, dainty. It's sort of like our friend the Galaxy S5 regular variant, only instead of the stippled soft touch finish we have here, it kind of has a permanent, almost like TPU case on top. It's really polycarbonate, so you can see how similar they are. So for those of you who are thinking about putting a shell case on to protect your phone, it's kind of like built-in, permanent here. It doesn't come off. It's designed this way. Back is still removable. Goodness, Samsung is so good at that. So even though it is water resistant, that means 30 minutes, 3 feet down in water, should be okay as long as you make sure everything is sealed up. There it is. So the cover actually has gasket in here, you see, so it stops water from getting inside. There's our usual 2800 milliamp battery. The same thing as the Samsung Galaxy S5 here, this phone. Got our SIM card slot. We have the micro SD card slot there. Speaker down there. Pretty standard arrangement. Now, this is not too hard to get on, unlike the Galaxy S4 Active, where it was an active patience to get all those little teeth on there. But you do want to make sure that you get them all back on before you decide to immerse it in water, or even just rinse it off in the kitchen sink because you're a very tidy person and you hate it when your phone gets dirty. Yes, you can do that with this phone, no problem. And there are a lot of these little teeth here, so take some patience. Now on the bottom here we have a door over the micro USB 2.0 port, not a 3.0 port like we have on the standard Galaxy S5. The rugged versions just don't get that, and there it is right there. And again, you want to make sure that that is closed too in the interest of being water resistant. So the thing is, the standard Galaxy S5 is also water and dust resistant. Same level of water resistance and dust resistance. So you're not actually adding anything here. What you get here is just a little bit extra, maybe grippiness on the design, slightly more rugged kind of casing on here. So this is not meant for you Ranger Rick types who are going to go running out there with your sniper rifles and your hatchets and make merry with all sorts of violent stuff. This is really more for sporty people, and that's why it's called the S5 Sport. So to that end, we have a standard Galaxy S5 again here. Same Qualcomm Snapdragon 801 CPU clocked at 2.5 gigahertz, Adreno 330 graphics, 2 gigs of RAM, 16 gigs of internal storage on here. The same cameras you're going to get on the regular Galaxy S5, 2 megapixel up front, the very good 16 megapixel camera that's on the rear with our flash. We also have the fingerprint scanner there, not really fingerprint scanner, rather the heart rate scanner embedded in that area for health and fitness kind of stuff. So this one has all sorts of, oh my goodness, look at all those icons. When you get this phone, the thing about it is you won't know where to touch because there's not a millimeter uncluttered where you can safely touch just a swipe. It's full of software, and that's the thing that I don't like about the phone. A lot of it seems to be selling a whole bunch of different brands and services. Even the desktop here. We have this nice Under Armour model here with some inspirational phrase that changes every so often. That's part of the theme pack that gets installed with this. We have this little tap on right there, Sprint Fit Live. So it's a shortcut, really. This is just a shortcut launcher to S Health, which is Samsung's health features. Again, you can check your heart rate, use the pedometer feature, all the things that are on the standard Galaxy S5 as well. And we have My Map Fitness, so you get that service included, which isn't too bad. And obviously, you get Spotify 6-month trial with the family plan, and then we have some health-related articles here that you can read. Disconcerting things about Ebola right now over here, so you can tap on something like that. And it really just launches the web browser so you can read the article, as you can see right there. Notice the page peel effect over here. Kind of launches a full screen version of the same thing. So again, you have all the S-Health stuff right here. It can do your basic monitoring for health stuff. My Map Fitness, for those of you who are into that service, you know what that is. But basically, you can record your exercise and activities, where you've been jogging to, that sort of thing. And then Smart Health are those, again, health-related articles. So more health and fitness oriented, less rugged Joe outdoors kind of thing. We do have mechanical clicky buttons here rather than capacitive buttons, just like we did on the S5 Active. And that's because, well, capacitive stuff doesn't really work well if the screen is really wet. And this area is really wet. If it was capacitive buttons, it gets confused because water is also capacitive. So you can count on these always working, even if your hands are wet or the phone is wet. So that's the reason for that. Same 5.1-inch Super AMOLED display here. Really lovely stuff. And again, back to the software, it's still Samsung TouchWiz on Android KitKat 4.4, so we have the latest, greatest software there. Samsung TouchWiz, as we all know, has a pretty heavy UI overlay over here. You take a look at the settings, various ways that they customize the settings, multi-window features, the Smart Stay feature where it uses the front camera, keep an eye on you, doesn't shut off the screen if you're looking at the screen, which is always very nice. And a whole lot of stuff that Sprint has preloaded on here. So there's that. I think there's a bit too much of it, to be honest. Beyond that, you're going to get the same very good call quality and pretty good data reception and speeds that you do on the standard Galaxy S5 on Sprint. It's a good performing phone on Sprint's network. Now, Sprint's network isn't super duper fast in our area. We do have LTE coverage, as you can see right there. And we're averaging about 10 megabit per second down and 8 up in our area. You know how Sprint service is in your area. Generally speaking, this will be at the better end of your data transfer speeds compared to some other phones on Sprint, so it's a solid choice there. In terms of performance, we'll run through the benchmark numbers real quick, but this is the same as you get in the Galaxy S5 or Galaxy S5 Active, so the scores are the same. You can see right here in Antutu, 36,103. Quadrant scored 23,389, and the Sun Spider JavaScript test, where lower numbers are better, and we use the WebKit web browser. You got both the WebKit web browser right there and the Chrome web browser, scored 411, where lower numbers are better, so that's very good. And there's our thing right there, and you can see that we've got the, speaking of bloatware on here, the Lumen toolbar. You can actually turn this off. It's really annoying. Why do we need to have this down here? It's just trying to sell you on apps and stuff like that. But there it is. Now, one thing I do like is the activity zone right here. Now, we saw this application on the Samsung Galaxy S5 Active as well. So here on the main screen, we have our barometer, we have a compass with our longitude and latitude, the flashlight, the stopwatch. So these are things I like pretty well for activity. And the only drawback is you don't get the convenience key on the side like you do with the Active, so you can have like a one-touch launching of this sort of thing. But still, it's nice save utilities for those of you who are outdoor-oriented. All the other S5 features, except for the fingerprint scanner, because we lose that button right here, and I don't think a whole lot of people are going to miss that. Other than that, you have the IR blaster with the TV remote on this phone. Again, like I said, all of the Samsung multi-window software, multitasking, gesture-based stuff, it's all on board right here. Camera as good as ever. Heart rate monitor works pretty well. So what is it? It's a Galaxy S5 for those of you who like the sports and fitness integration in here. Honestly, given all the software that's loaded on here and endorsements and all that sort of thing, I'm not sure if it's worth it based on that, especially because you get S-Health with the regular Samsung Galaxy S5 now. You might like My Map Fitness, and that's cool too, but I think a lot of people who buy this are just going to be looking for something that looks a little visually different from the regular Samsung Galaxy S5. It's been on the market for a while. So for those of you who like those looks, that rubbery feel, the knowledge that you can probably do that a little bit more without doing in the phone, well, then the S5 Sport's for you. $199 on contract, 2-year contract, or $649 without, so you're looking about the same price as you would pay for the regular Galaxy S5. So that's the Samsung Galaxy S5 Sport, available now on Sprint. Again, $199 with contract, $650 without, available in your choice of, well, this color red or electric blue. And if you like the Samsung Galaxy S5, you want a kind of permanent built-in case, you like those added fitness features, hey, why not? I'm Lisa from Mobile Tech Review. Be sure to visit our website for the full written review, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.